Good morning and welcome to day 91 of Geriatric 1944's Coronavirus Diaries. You'll notice that the coronavirus story is starting to slip away. The media still has to keep on nagging away, boosting their wonderful story. It's a hell of a story. And so as a result, you get people on television saying that it is only basically essential travel that the government advice says at the moment. But of course, all the media reports say it is only absolutely essential travel. Likewise, you see all the stories covered with people, relatives now, they're covering people who survived coronavirus, and you've got minutes and minutes of weeping relatives and elderly fat people usually saying, oh, it was pure hell, but I'm absolutely fine now. And you start thinking, oh, come on, media, do grow up. Nobody, of course, wants to have the big story because we've not got time. In this new superficial age, all we've got time for is, just tell us, is it an absolute disaster? Yes, it's a plague. It's a mad plague killing millions. Move on to the next topic, please. Bored with that story, on to the next. Well, the reality is, if you look at these tales in any depth, you'll find out what the real truth is. And the problem is when not just governments, but individuals believe the media. Instead of going, oh, they always exaggerate everything is inflated, when they go, oh my God, they must be telling the truth, and they then take measures like total lockdown all over the globe with the consequences of economies collapsing, people having heart attacks not going to hospital and dying, people having cancer not going to have hospital and dying, people having sepsis not going to hospital and dying, or people going bankrupt, people losing their jobs. Because why? Because everybody believed the media exaggeration. The funniest thing of all is how nobody will actually look at the opposite. There's just a few. There's me. There's people like Peter Hitchens in the Mail, who I have to say has been sceptical from the very beginning. Matthew Paris, likewise, and a few others. There's actually many more than those who speak out. Most people just dare not speak out. It's like daring to say Jimmy Savile wasn't a multiple rapist. He wasn't, of course, but nobody dares say it because people will go, oh my God, you're in denial of the media exaggerated story. And that's what I really think is the disturbing thing. People are really beginning to think that the media speak the truth. They don't. They inflate the truth. They take a decent story and they blow it up out of all proportion. As a matter of interest, I just looked at the really bad flu season. Do you remember when they gave us the wrong vaccine? And a lot of people got ill, and even more people, of course, died. And that was in the 2017 to 2018 period, just a couple of years ago. We already know that there were 50,000 deaths, excess winter deaths, they called them, in England and Wales. Just England and Wales, not even including Scotland and Northern Ireland. In just England and Wales, 50,000 deaths in the 3-month period over the winter of 2017-2018 from flu. It got very little publicity, very little notice anywhere. People just got on with their lives. Yes, it's very sad, because you've got to say that always, that people die. But the reality is lots of people do die every year from dozens of reasons, ranging from car accidents to cutting their finger and getting sepsis. But anyway, that was in England and Wales. But I thought, let me look at Europe generally. And I looked at Europe generally, and I saw you've got to go really in depth into the Google files. If you just want superficial things, don't even bother. But if you want in depth, go to some of the real detail. And I found out that in that bad season, in Europe as a whole, there were 152,000 excess deaths from flu, I think influenza B they call it, during that 3 or 4 month period. Now, I'm wondering whether the coronavirus deaths will equal that, or be less, or slightly more. But either way, it's going about that way. I would have thought if you take, the 40,000 in the UK, 30,000 in Italy and Spain and France, and a few, 8,000 in Germany, toss in a few that had almost no deaths, like Portugal and Greece and so on, and you probably get to somewhere around 152,000. But when you look at the consequences of us really making this a panic-demic as opposed to a pandemic, you'll see what the media has caused. I made a film some time ago called Me, 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 the movie. And if you want to watch Me, 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 the movie, you'll see I predicted the way that the media can influence events for individual people and the world in general. And one of the songs in it was quite fun, I thought, because it actually summed up my whole attitude to the whole thing. So I'll sign off today, leaving you with urging you to watch the movie if you can, and leaving you with a song from it called It's a Hell of a Story. See you tomorrow.
The royal family and cabinet ministers, presidents and leaders are biggest of all. Celebrities and sports people get juices running and even get involved in the game of football. Educators, doctors in and nigh positions, social worker, foster parents and teachers, moral religious practitioners and holier than thou pulpit preachers. Easy sex scandal like olive oil helps the recipe go much slicker. Words like world exclusive make it look just a little bit quicker. Involve small children and of course the obligatory victims. Busty big blondes preferably removing their knickers.
It's the stuff that dreams are made of. I wake up with the morning glory. It's a hell of a story, it's a hell of a story, it's a hell of a story, it's a hell of a story.
Walking down the street, keep your ears to the ground. It's amazing the human interest to be found. Who's screwing who behind, who's back, who's in deep trouble and who's in the sack. Important people all walk around too, not just ordinary folk like me and like you.
Those earth-shaking headlines are there to be made. Be brave, be clever, just never be afraid. Your byline is waiting to make your name. It's the wealth and riches and loads of fame. This one will run and run.
It's a hell of a story, 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 it's a hell of a story.
If ever the morality appears to stink, just remember that your veins are full of printer's ink. Even though the way of spreading it has seemed to alter, the whispering of gossip will never falter. From pen to paper to online rumour, minor indiscretion or terminal tumour. Never check the fact, just become an assumer, and work your headlines with a sense of humour.
Yesterday's papers are fish and chips. Today's internet scandals use the chips or tips. You can instigate dramas, inspire wars and fights with just a few million random megabytes. It started in villages and spread to cities, then conquered the world, cloaked in breast and titties. Never forget a good dose of sex always wins you love and respect.
It's a hell of a story, 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 it's a hell of a story.
Ever since the Christians, lions and thrills, the punters like the diet in blood-soaked pills.
It's a hell of a story, 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 it's a hell of a story.
So never forget, the only thing that matters is give them something to encourage the chatters. A juicy topic for coffee or tea. How does this relate